Hi guys! So confused about choosing the right English test for college, work, and the other purpose? In this video, I will explain about the difference, the advantage of some of the most popular English tests. For example, it's IELTS, TOEFL, TOEIC, PTA, Cambridge, and MAT. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Naqiyya Dewi, and yeah, stay tuned. Okay, first I will explain about IELTS. IELTS is International English Language Testing System. Yeah, the definition is English language that used globally to measure a person's English language skill. IELTS is recognized by 10,000 institutions around the world, including the university, companies, and then immigration agency. For the purpose of the IELTS test is to measure English language skill with a reliable and globally recognized standard. And then the test location in Indonesia, especially in a big city like Jakarta, Medan, Surabaya, and Yogyakarta. And for the price of doing IELTS test in Indonesia, for the price is start from 2,600,000 until 4 million. Yes, depending on the test type and needs. For the certificate validity is 2 years from the test date. It's a TOEFL. The definition of TOEFL is test of English as a foreign language. It's a test that assesses reading, listening, speaking, and writing skill in English. TOEFL is one of the most widely accepted English proficiency tests in the world, and is recognized by institutions and organizations in more than 150 countries in around the world. For the purpose of TOEFL is an internationally recognized standardized test designed to measure the English language proficiency of non-native speakers. The TOEFL focuses on how English is used in academic setting. And then for the location in Indonesia, in big city, in Jakarta, Bandung, Surabaya, Yogyakarta, Makassar, Medan, Banjarmasin. For the price, Indonesia and TOEFL have two different price. For the first is TOEFL ABT and TOEFL ATP. For the first is TOEFL ABT in Indonesia. The price start from 3,60,000 rupiah, and for TOEFL ATP and start from 90,50,000 rupiah. The certificate validity of TOEFL is 2 years, start from test date. And then for the example is the test is listening, reading, writing, speaking. The next is PTA. The person test of English is a renowned computer-based examination designed to assess the English language proficiency of non-native English speaker. The PTA exam format is meticulously structured to 3 sections. It's like speaking and writing, reading and listening, using AI for fast and accurate scoring, while PTA over convenience and reliability. It also faces challenges such as limited regional availability and potential technical or AI-related issues. And for the purpose is academic, immigration, professional requirements in professional fields, assessment. Yeah, for the price in Indonesia in rupiah is start from 3,050,000 until 3,002,000 rupiah. And then for the certificate validity is 2 years from the test date. For the example is doing listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Yeah, for the first is academy used for study at international university. For example, in Australia, UK, and Netherlands. And for the immigration is eligible for student work and PR visa in countries such as Australia and UK. And for the professional is occupational license in English language. And requirement and assessment measure English skills speaking, writing, reading, listening accurately and quickly. For the test location in Indonesia, in Jakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, and Yogyakarta. The next section is about TOEIC. The definition of TOEIC is the test of English for international communication. It's an English proficiency test designed to measure communication skill within international workplace context. TOEIC assesses how well an individual can use English to interact effectively in a professional environment, particularly in business activity, service, and everyday communication. The scores are determined by the number of correct answers, which is then converted to a scale scope between 5 until 1495 points. The score can reference for language CE of our level. And then for TOEIC speaking and writing test response are scores based on specific criteria, then convert to a scale of 0 until 2000 per speaking and writing section. Yep. For the next section is the purpose of the TOEIC. Okay, for the purpose of TOEIC is to assess English for business or professional use. Example is used by employees, school, government, and then TOEIC, its purpose was to create an English test focused on communication skill in the international workplace, unlike TOEFL, which is oriented toward communication skill in the international workplace. The price in Indonesia in rupiah is start from 3,050,000 until 3,002,000 rupiah. And then for the certificate validity is 2 years from the test date. For the sample is doing listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Okay, for the price doing TOEIC test in Indonesia is start from 675,000 is for listening and reading section, and then for the speaking and writing it start from 1,040,200, and then for the certificate validity is 2 years from the test date. For the sample is test is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Next, the next is for Cambridge. Cambridge English qualification are in-depth exams that make learning English enjoyable, effective, and rewarding. Cambridge English qualification are designed so that each exam builds on the skill that we develop at the previous level. For the purpose, Cambridge is to certify English language proficiency for academic, professional, and immigration purpose, and widely accepted by universities, employers, and government worldwide. Commonly used for study abroad, job application, and visa requirements. And the test location for Cambridge test in Indonesia is such as Jakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, Medan, and etc. For the price, it start from 2,015,000 rupiah until 15,000 rupiah. For the certificate validity, start from 2 years from the test date, and for the sample, I will explain more detail. The skill range from 80 until 2030, covering multiple proficiency level. For the first one is proficient user, say 2, and for the score start 2000 until 2030, and for the say 1 is 1080 until 1099. For the basic user A2, the score get 1020 until 1039, and for A1 is 1000 until 1019. For the independent user, B2 start from score is 160 until 1079, and for B1 it start from 1040 until 1059. Yep. For the next test is math. Yeah, the next is math. Definition: math is the Michigan English test. It's a multi-level English proficiency exam for secondary school students and adults. It is developed by Michigan Language Assessment, a collaboration between the University of Michigan and Cambridge Assessment English. The purpose is the certification of the math is used for high stage decision making in educational and professional setting. As the test is designed to measure the English language proficiency of non-native speaker for practical, academic, and professional purpose. For the test location in Jakarta, in Mencari Assessment in Authorized Test Center for Michigan Language Assessment. Offering the Math Go digital exam, they provide online testing option. Yeah, with virtual supervision via Zoom, catering to the challenge of international assessment during distance learning. For the price in Indonesia, for doing two skill in math, start from 1,040,000 rupiah, and the four skill, especially listening, reading, writing, speaking, start from 3 million rupiah, and for certificate validity is 2 years from the test date. For example, is have a many type, especially for listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Yeah, the next is math. Definition: math is the Michigan English test. It's a multi-level English proficiency exam for secondary school students and adults. It is developed by Michigan Language Assessment, a collaboration between the University of Michigan and Cambridge Assessment English. The purpose is the certification of the math is used for high stage decision making in educational and professional setting. As the test is designed to measure the English language proficiency of non-native speaker for practical, academic, and professional purpose. For the test location in Jakarta, in Mencari Assessment in Authorized Test Center for Michigan Language Assessment. Offering the Math Go digital exam, they provide online testing option. Yeah, with virtual supervision via Zoom, catering to the challenge of international assessment during distance learning. For the price in Indonesia, for doing two skill in math, start from 1,040,000 rupiah, and the four skill, especially listening, reading, writing, speaking, start from 3 million rupiah, and for certificate validity is 2 years from the test date. For example, is have a many type, especially for listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Yeah, for the conclusion, so I would choose the IELTS test because for academic purposes, going to foreign campus is very safe, but the test is quite expensive, not to mention transportation and accommodation to get the test location. And IELTS can also be a requirement. IELTS also can be a requirement for applying for a job abroad, all of which depend on the requirements given according to the requirements of the institution or workplace. Yeah, so I just doing the test IELTS. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.